potato.
Live from Sydney, 7 News with Ann Sanders.
First at 4, good afternoon. We begin with the COVID crisis, not here in New South Wales, but in Victoria, where 75 new infections were identified as the state continues its testing blitz. Live now to Marley Hogan. Marley, it's not just Victoria's leader grappling with how to contain the crisis.
Yeah, good afternoon, Anne. The Prime Minister was speaking in Sydney today and he described the situation in Melbourne as a serious outbreak. He said he would be speaking with Premier Daniel Andrews this afternoon to talk about options and if they need any federal resources to try and help contain this outbreak. Now, at this stage, Victorian health authorities are asking as many people to come forward and get tested. They've even introduced an Australian-first saliva test to make testing more comfortable for people who are uncomfortable with the swab, that nasal test. Now, Victoria's Chief Health Officer spoke earlier saying that the situation in Melbourne will get worse before it gets better. But of most concern, he said that people with symptoms were still going out and spreading the virus in the community and that dozens of fresh cases today could be traced back to people who were breaking the rules. Now, at this stage, there are no local suburb lockdowns in place, but they have not ruled that out.
People are still going out with symptoms. So whether or not it needs a legal direction, I think is a conversation to be had over the next couple of days. We're not there yet.
Marley, will this change our border policy?
And it won't. The Premier says that the border will stay open. She says that people in Melbourne shouldn't come here, though, especially if they live in those hot spots, and that anyone from New South Wales that does go to Melbourne, when they return, that they should go and get a test. It is good news for New South Wales today, though. There are 0 cases transmitted through the community. All 7 cases that were diagnosed in New South Wales today are travellers, and they are all in hotel quarantine. Anne?
Marley Hogan reporting. Thank you very much, Marley. A court has heard the former wife of a top Sydney neurosurgeon says she was punched and kicked by him during a violent argument. Leonie Ryan is at the Downing Centre. Leonie, Tim Steele hasn't been able to practice since these allegations were made.
Good afternoon, Anne. Well, Timothy Steele has been suspended from working as a neurosurgeon since he was charged with domestic violence offences late last year. Today, his ex-wife Emma Steele appeared via video link and was shown her police interview, which was recorded on body cam. In it, she spoke of what's alleged to have played out in their Bellevue Hill home. She told officers the pair had started arguing before Dr. Steele is alleged to have lashed out by punching and slapping her face, kicking her stomach and pulling her hair. Miss Steele says her ex-husband then ran downstairs and jumped into the swimming pool holding her phone, which allegedly contained photos of him abusing her. She told officers that she had been living in a financially abusive relationship and that if she didn't do what he said, he wouldn't pay her or deposit money into her account. Dr. Steele himself suffered scratches to his arm, chest and back, and when his ex-wife was asked about how he came to be injured, she admitted it was caused by her long nails during the scuffle. Now, this hearing will continue tomorrow with a magistrate to determine whether Dr. Steele did assault his ex-wife in their family home.
Labor MP Shaket Mosselmain has spoken out for the first time since ASIO raided his home and office, investigating Chinese interference into our politics. He insists he's done nothing wrong. Serena Adeloro is at State Parliament. Serena, he wouldn't answer any questions today.
Well, Labor Upper House member Shaket Mosselmain says he's not a suspect in the investigation which saw his home and office raided by the AFP and ASIO last Friday. Under the watchful eye of his lawyer, he says he's done nothing wrong, reading out a statement to the press. Today, a source close to the police investigation would not call him a suspect because of its legal interpretation, but told us ASIO does not conduct raids on a whim.
I am not a suspect in this investigation. The investigation is into certain other people allegedly advancing the goals of a foreign government, namely the People's Republic of China. Sadly, the political lynching has already commenced. Let me tell you, I have done nothing wrong. I have done nothing wrong.
The raids focused on whether China was influencing Mr. Mosselmain's pro-Beijing views he maintains he sincerely holds. Mr Musselmain says he will take a leave of absence from New South Wales Parliament while the investigation takes place. It means he will not sit in the chamber and will not go into his office. He did not respond to questions over whether or not he would resign.
Prime Minister Scott Morrison says the government won't rush decisions regarding the future of JobKeeper and JobSeeker, with both programs due to end in September. Political correspondent Tim Lester is live in Canberra. Hello, Tim. The government is already under fierce pressure to keep the assistance going beyond the deadline.
It is indeed, and Prime Minister Morrison says he is about to receive a report or assessment from the head of Treasury into the giant JobKeeper wage subsidy program. It will guide the Prime Minister and the government on what to do next. He says he is not rushing the decision. Labor says he is in fact stalling the decision to avoid having to deliver any tough medicine before Saturday's vote in the Eden-Monaro by-election. Today, a lot of toing and froing on whether JobSeeker unemployment benefits need to rise permanently. Mr Morrison emphasising the billions government help is costing taxpayers every month.
And that's why the government is being very careful in the considerations we're having. We're not rushing to any decisions.
JobSeeker, or New Start as it was then, was a big problem, too low, and it is very clear to all and sundry that it's not sustainable at the old rate.
I can't see them taking it back to where it is. It just won't work.
There are currently no proposals before the government to increase that particular rate.
Tim, this is at odds with a new report out today which says the government should be looking to spend more.
And this is from the think tank, the Grattan Institute. It suggests far from pulling back on stimulus now, the government ought to actually ramp it up by $70 to $90 billion over the next 2 years.
Right, I think the danger of underspending is greater than the danger of overspending.
The Grattan plan would extend the JobKeeper program, the childcare subsidy, the unemployment benefit, and would also fund tutoring for students who've missed their lessons during the lockdown. Anne?
Tim Lester in Canberra. Thank you, Tim. A young shopkeeper in Western Sydney has shown bravery beyond her years and size, scaring off a robber with a huge kitchen knife. We have exclusive pictures of the moment she chased him away. Don't miss that story coming up a little later in the program. Plus, tonight at 6 with Mark Ferguson, her interview with our reporter. A 26-year-old man has been arrested in Casula after he allegedly tried to steal a vehicle with 3 children inside. Police say the man tried to take the car yesterday, but he didn't get far, crashing it, and was then detained by passers-by. He's now under police guard at Liverpool Hospital. It's alleged he also tried to steal a woman's phone and keys. Firefighters have cleared up an oil spill after a tanker hit a hatchback at Wiley Park in Sydney's southwest. Emergency services were called to the crash on King George's Road just before midnight last night. The truck slammed into the driver's side of the Volkswagen Golf, but no one was injured. The federal and state governments have announced $1 billion in fast-track roads funding to support jobs post-COVID and ease traffic congestion. State political reporter Alex Hart has the details. Alex, which areas in Sydney will benefit?
And almost a quarter of the $1 billion in funding will go towards improving these congestion hotspots right across Sydney. 11 of them have been identified that have become traffic pinch points. Among them, intersection improvements will be made to Oxford Street at Bondi Junction, the Pacific Highway near Turramurra, also Parramatta Road near Holroyd. There are 2 of these hotspots in Macquarie Park as well, where the Prime Minister and the Premier announced this fast-track funding today.
It's the most basic of projects at local government levels across the state, going through to important road safety projects and dealing with congestion pinch points.
So not only will our communities have that much needed relief, whether it's reducing travel times or increasing safety, but also we know that jobs boost is so vital.
Jointly funded by the state and federal governments, this package will support more than 5,000 jobs across the state, much of the money going to regional councils to improve roads in the bush, including resurfacing and fixing potholes. Also, there will be safety upgrades such as more rumble strips which make noise when drivers veer over them. But Labor says the funding doesn't go far enough.
We're calling on the government to build these roads, but also to build the roads they previously promised.
Tonight in our full report at 6, I'll have exclusive details about another major road project in Sydney affecting tens of thousands of drivers every day. And
Thank you, Alex. David Brown joins us now for a look at the day's weather. Afternoon, Brownie.
Yeah, good afternoon, Anne. A mix of sunny breaks and some passing showers today, but I must say most of the showers have been confined to coastal areas. Right now, we look at current conditions. You'll see it's sitting on 15 degrees, but in the southerly breeze at the moment, it feels like 11. And as we go to the radar, the thing that stands out, most of the rain at the moment is falling towards the southern highlands. We've got some isolated showers passing through the inner west of the city and also out towards the northwest corner at the moment. Most falls less than a millimetre since 9 o'clock this morning. Around the state, frosty first thing, right along the spine of the Great Dividing Range. You'll also notice a number of places across the inland plains. Look at that, -1 degree in Cobar, -1 in Hay during the early hours of the morning as well. Those showers scattered, as I mentioned, mainly confined to the central coast. But as we fly through time over the next 5 days, the thing that stands out is that most of our state is in for a dry spell. And, of course, that includes our corner of the world. Cold, very cold overnight. In fact, most metro centres dropping down to 5 degrees or less. At the moment, you'll notice it's sitting on 15 degrees in Penrith, a little bit cooler in Terry Hills. It's only 13. Local forecast in detail, top of the hour, Anne.
See you then, Brownie. Thank you. Still to come in Sydney's afternoon news on 7. The controversial video Donald Trump retweeted. Why? He insists it was just a mistake. One of the world's biggest cities about to be overrun by a plague of locusts. And the Zoom call with Camilla, the honour given to the Duchess by a grateful Aussie charity.
Uncover the truth with the world's greatest minds. Let her go!
Watch carefully, Lewis. That has to be something.
No crime is unsolvable.
Great British Mysteries, Monday to Thursday on 7/2.
Thanks for calling ING. This is Adam speaking. How can I help you? No, I'm currently working from home.
Oh, you can call anytime, so...
Sorry. And she's currently nibbling at my toe right now.
Yeah, working from home was a bit tricky at first, but...
There's definitely been some stray farts, hasn't there, mate?
And now your loan's on a fixed rate. Can I help you with anything else?
You made my day.
Well, whatever 2020 throws at you, we're here for a chat anytime.
Too easy.
Is that yours?
Happy birthday.
Actually.
Get your kids their first phone at Optus. Visit us in-store today.
2020, finally some good news. This end of financial year, Step 1's got you covered. 4-pack, 20% off. 7-pack, 25% off. And this big fella, get a 15-pack for 30% off. Get them online at step1.life. Be quick.
1, 2, 3, 4. So clap it back. Hey, clap, clap. So clap it back.
Centrum provides multiple health benefits in just one tablet. Centrum, complete from A to Zinc.
Hi.
Look at how great you look.
Thank you. I feel like I've been on a diet my entire life. I even cut out bread and pasta for a day. And then I tried Noom.
I feel like anyone could use Noom.
It's an easy to stick to program that actually changed my habits. It changed the way I look at food.
They say it's based on a cognitive behavioral approach. I just say it works.
It just clicked. It worked. It worked with Noom. Visit Noom.com and lose the weight for good.
What are you looking at, hon?
Oh, just a little bit of T&W.
Huh?
Hey, I got a package for Ada.
Wow, you're here already?
Temple and Webster. Save today on our massive end of financial year sale.
Don't let this deal be news to you. Lock in full digital access to the Daily Telegraph plus 7-day paper home delivery for just $1 a day for the first 12 weeks. Call 1-800-323-999 today.
Bob Jane T-Mart, big brands, bigger deals. Save 25% on J-Track's SUV and 4x4 and Nitto 4x4 tyres. Up to $100 instant cashback on all Bridgestone Jeweller SUV and 4x4 tyres. We won't be beaten on price on BF Goodrich tyres. Plus, the most competitive prices on a huge selection of 4x4 and Ute alloy wheels from just $189.
We'll look after you.
Chloe and Zoe are twins and Amy customers, so you have the same taste.
We love our HD, LED, LCD, 4K, Pixel TVs. Oh, and Barney and Rubble love the dog channel.
Do you choose to save now or later on your insurance?
Later.
Buy a home or car insurance policy and Amy Flexi Premiums lets you vary your excess to save now or later. Choose a higher excess to save now or choose a lower excess to save at claim time.
You're with Amy.
Despite plenty of shower activity, there was a lovely orange glow to this morning's sunrise along the coast. This was how it looked in Cronulla. Some heavy downpours mixed in with sunshine. Right now it's 15 degrees. The President of the United States tweeted and then, after a barrage of outrage, swiftly deleted a controversial post, including this video. Donald Trump claims he didn't notice the man yelling the racist remark when he retweeted it. Others, though, say it's part of his re-election strategy, shoring up his base of mainly white, evangelical Christian voters. 12 people are dead and at least 10 more are missing as flooding continues to hit large parts of southwestern China. More than 7,000 have been evacuated as authorities try to deal with the rising waters. President Xi Jinping is promising an all-out effort to deal with the disaster. A plague of locusts is now on the doorstep of India's second-largest city, New Delhi. The swarm has prompted authorities to ask locals to shut their windows, even bang pots and pans in a bid to scare them off. Pilots flying into New Delhi's main airport are being warned to take extra precautions during takeoff and landing. The Duchess of Cornwall has been named a patron of Australian essential goods charity Give It. Camilla dialed into a Zoom call to hear the announcement following her own generous donation to the group in the summer bushfires. Sarah Greenodge reports.
Well, the connection with Give It was made back in January when the Duchess of Cornwall made what was described then as a very generous donation at the height of the bushfire crisis. About a fortnight ago, she was announced as patron, and she's now had this very special long-distance virtual catch-up with founder Juliette Wright. Give It really grew during the 2011 Brisbane floods. They have been supporting those suffering through ongoing drought and will soon be helping millions of Aussies hit hard financially by coronavirus. Camilla was especially taken with exactly how it operates. They rely on funds and those donations are matched with those in need around the country.
Well, I think you're absolutely incredible. I don't know why nobody has thought of this before. It's a really inspirational idea, especially in Australia, which is so huge. You've got so many miles to cover.
On this Zoom call, Camilla also spoke of her love for Australia. She said she loves our sense of humour, our laid-back attitude, and can't wait to visit again. There is still so much she wants to see and do. She's already officially visited Down Under 3 times. Her husband, Prince Charles, clocked up his 16th trip when they were visiting for the Gold Coast 2018 Commonwealth Games. But no one will be going anywhere anytime soon due to the ongoing pandemic and travel restrictions. All future royal tours are on hold.
Next in 7's afternoon news, the state government being sued. Opal Tower apartment owners discover hundreds more defects. The costly bill to fix them all. Plus, how bushfire-affected regions are being given some assistance. And in sport, another son of a gun stars in the NRL as the Tigers slay the struggling Bulldogs.
Tonight on 7 News with Mark Ferguson.
75 new cases, the virus crisis south of the border, how New South Wales is responding. The pensioner accused of a wild police chase, and lockdown tax returns what you can claim.
Tonight on 7 News at 6. Travel in a COVID world. What's happening to make it possible? David Koch investigates.
Health and safety is paramount.
On Sunrise.
4 out of 5 people who are blind don't need to be. A simple $25 surgery can restore sight. Please donate today to help carry on Fred's vision.
Every eye is an eye.
AHC's perfecting eye cream for your face. Once only for the eyes, now for the entire face.
This is K-Beauty at its best. Enjoy hydrated, dewy, radiant-looking skin with AHC. See the brand new offer from AHC Eye Cream for Face with a gorgeous free gift. Live on Open Shop, Channel 75.
Oh, hi, sweetie.
Hi, Mum.
Mars. Enough chocolate to deal with anything.
Oh, it's very good.
From home time to sleepy time, IKEA designs around life's precious moments. So make mess, mohawks, and laugh until your belly hurts. Because with IKEA, there really is no place like home.
2020, finally some good news. This end of financial year, Step 1's got you covered. 4-pack, 20% off. 7-pack, 25% off. And this big fella, get a 15-pack for 30% off. Get them online at step1.life. Be quick.
The stylish Haval H2, a globally engineered, European-designed and feature-packed SUV. From just $22,990 drive away, Haval H2 Auto. New car thinking.
Loving you is easy. Loving you is never a pain in the guts.
Fresh, natural Simmel. The easy-to-digest milk.
What's happening now, Detective?
They're still there. You would have thought they'd moved out by now. Got themselves a little unit somewhere.
Call us today to find out more about a reverse mortgage from Heartland. Heartland Seniors Finance.
The drought in Queensland and New South Wales right now is one of the worst in our history.
When the Trebbins farm hadn't seen much rain in years, Alicia helped arrange finance for vital equipment. And they all saw water for the first time in a long time.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing.
That's the Suncorp spirit.
New South Wales South Coast bushfire victims will have their council rates subsidised till the end of 2020. The state government has paid rates since January, but this has been extended until December.
We'll assess how people are really doing, whether they're doing well or not, and if we can assist in any way we can, you can absolutely be assured that we'll continue to do that.
$2.4 million has been spent to cover rates in 30 council areas. The Opal Tower Owners Corporation has taken legal action over 500 new defects in the troubled 36-storey unit block. It says it'll sue the state government for problems totalling $1 million in the tower's common areas. The corporation chairman says insurance premiums have risen 1,000% for residents since the first cracks appeared in 2018. Sport now with Mel McLaughlin. Hello, Mel. More pain for the struggling Bulldogs.
Hi, Anne. Yes, you're right. The NRL cellar dwellers face being without Will Hopewadi for up to 2 months. Hopewadi needs surgery on the ankle he injured in last night's loss to West Tigers at Bankwest Stadium. Canterbury junior Tommy Talau, the son of former Bulldog star Willie Talau, scored twice for the Tigers.
Something special from the youngster.
He's a quality kid and the way he finished that try, he's found a little bit of a spot there, which is good.
David Nofaluma also starred in the 34-6 romp, which lifts the Tigers to 6th on the ladder. There is one positive for the Dogs, with English recruit Luke Thompson eligible to debut against South on Sunday night. Raiders halfback George Williams says he'll play on through the pain of a broken nose. It's a different story for Corey Horsburgh, who's expected to miss several weeks with a foot injury suffered against the Eels. Williams says the fiery prop's emotional on-field outburst was due to the injury.
Yeah, he got a bit emotional, but I think that was more with the injury more than anything. And I hope he's well. He's a young kid and he's a great prospect.
The Storm have hit the training track at their new home on the Sunshine Coast. The NRL expects the team to be based outside of Melbourne for at least 4 weeks. Victoria's COVID-19 spike and changing border restrictions have thrown the AFL season into chaos. Thursday night's game on the Gold Coast between Richmond and West Coast has been postponed due to new quarantine rules for Victorian teams entering Queensland. The Tigers will instead play the Demons at the MCG on Sunday, with the Swans up against the Eagles at Metricon Stadium on Saturday. More disruptions are expected.
The rolling fixture might be sort of daily. We had a great run generally across the country. We're having a tougher period in Victoria at the moment.
Round 5 now begins with Carlton against St Kilda on Thursday night. Ben Stokes could be transforming from back alley brawler to England's cricket captain. Stokes will fill in for Joe Root if the skipper misses the first test against the West Indies for the birth of his second child. 30 England players are living and training in a biosecure bubble in Southampton before the 3-test series starts on July the 8th.
We're not really able to socialise particularly, so it has felt a little bit strange.
There's talk of adding tests to Australia's limited overs tour in September if England's series against Pakistan can't go ahead. Well, it's going to be a battle of the big-name clubs in the FA Cup semi-finals. Chelsea booked their place against Manchester United with a 1-0 win over Leicester. Arsenal defeated Sheffield United 2-1 to book a date with Manchester City, who... Well, in the Premier League, Southampton downed Watford 3-1, and Liverpool legend Robbie Fowler has quit as coach of Brisbane Roar just over a fortnight out from the A-League restart. Well, that infamous tennis tour organised by Novak Djokovic stopped by coronavirus keeps giving Nick Kyrgios plenty of fodder. German star Alexander Zverev apologised for taking part in it and promised to self-isolate for 2 weeks. Only 6 days later, he's been caught in videos out partying.
Sasha Zverev again, man, again. At least have the audacity to stay inside for 14 days. My God. Have your girlfriend with you for 14 days. Jesus, man. Me off. This tennis world's me off, seriously. How selfish can you all get?
Yeah, well, last week, Kyrgios called the Djokovic tour boneheaded. He's joined a long list. There's a lot of people not too happy about that, and with pretty good reason, I think.
Yeah, I'd say so. Mel, thank you very much.
Thank you.
This afternoon's top stories are next, including more on Victoria's worrying spike in cases, plus exclusive pictures at the moment a Western Sydney shopkeeper scared off a robber. The American states going back on easing restrictions as case numbers show no signs of slowing. One group's idea to create 1 million new jobs and cut emissions at the same time. And forces farewell to one of their own, the officer and his lasting legacy.
What if this goes public? You really want to play this game?
Between Two Worlds, this July on 7.
It's Appliances Online's end of financial year event, so stay right at home because whatever your budget, we've got you covered. At just $525, this Euromade 7-kilo front loader gives great results, and the Euromade heat pump dryer with a 6-star energy rating, just $999. Or this Euromade 10-kilo washer and 7-kilo dryer combo, just $1,169. For a huge range of great offers with free next day delivery, visit appliancesonline.com.au.
Almost there. Oh, you're there. Well, what are we waiting for?
Lotto's jackpot has stretched to a whopping $30 million. Will your numbers bring you a truckload of cash this Tuesday?
Play now in-store at thelot.com or on the Lot app.
Garnier Fructis Hair Food to nourish hungry hair. 98% natural, no parabens, with 3 ways to enjoy. As a conditioner, mask or leave-in. Fructis Hair Food by Garnier. Naturally. Hungry for more? Aloe Vera Hair Food available now.
2020, finally some good news. This end of financial year, Step 1's got you covered. 4-pack, 20% off. 7-pack, 25% off. And this big fella, get a 15-pack for 30% off. Get them online at step1.life. Be quick.
Keep everyone entertained. Add on Xbox All Access and play for 3 months on us. Visit telstra.com/Xbox today.
Getting back on the road is something we're all looking forward to, and Toyota is here to help you do just that. With a range of finance options like offering a $1,500 finance deposit bonus across selected models.
Get Hilux 4x4 SR5 from $53,990 drive away and a $1,500 finance deposit bonus with Toyota Finance.
Like to know more? Go to toyota.com.au.
Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
Live from Sydney, 7 News with Ann Sanders.
Welcome back to our Martin Place headquarters. These are our top stories on 7. Victoria has seen another worrying surge in infections. 75 people identified with COVID-19. Pressure continues to mount on Gladys Berejiklian to shut the border. Labor's Shiket Mosselmain says he isn't a suspect in ASIO's investigation into possible Chinese interference in our politics. He refused to answer any questions when he spoke today. And Donald Trump claims he didn't fully watch a video that he retweeted showing a man yelling "white power" to opposing protesters in Florida. We have exclusive pictures to bring you now of a remarkable moment of bravery in our West. A young shopkeeper using a knife to scare off a robber. Natasha Squarey has the details.
Well, Anne, it was 2 hours off closing time and a would-be thief here in Sydney's West thought he could take advantage of a young woman who was working here alone at this convenience store, but he had no idea this worker would take him on. It was around 7:30 last night when the man made a beeline towards the cash register demanding money. But the young woman who works here for free to help out her family wasn't handing it over. She armed herself with a knife that she uses to cut boxes.
I tried to hand like this and then he ran away.
She chased the suspect to the curb and he ran across the street before turning around and staring at her. Police say this vision is very helpful and they're urging the would-be thief to hand himself in. Hear from the brave worker tonight at 6.
Thanks, Natasha. Victorian health authorities say they're concerned about people with symptoms spreading coronavirus in the community after 75 new cases were recorded in the past 24 hours. Our Premier Gladys Berejiklian says she won't close the border with Victoria despite the fresh infections.
I don't think it helps to have any states have their borders up, especially given to some extent their success in eradicating the virus is because we've housed all of their return travellers.
The Prime Minister is speaking to Victoria's government to determine if it needs more resources. COVID-19 cases have risen above 10 million worldwide, Americans accounting for more than a quarter of those infected. US Vice President Mike Pence, who's in charge of the United States response, today contradicting the President and urging everyone to wear a mask when social distancing isn't possible. Paul Kadak has more.
Good afternoon. As the US COVID death toll now passes 125,000, we are seeing coronavirus case numbers on the rise in more than 30 states. A dozen states are now hitting pause on any further reopenings, and some reopenings are being reversed. The Governor of California today ordering bars to close in several areas, including Los Angeles. Vice President Mike Pence, visiting Texas, one of the current hotspots, was urging precautions.
Wear a mask wherever it's indicated, or wherever you're not able to practice the kind of social distancing that would prevent the spread of the coronavirus.
Now, that's in contrast to the example set by the President, who's been notably reluctant to wear a mask in public. A senior Republican senator today suggesting he should.
It would help if from time to time the President would wear one to help us get rid of this political debate that says if you're for Trump, you don't wear a mask. If you're against Trump, you do.
Some blaming the rise in cases on younger people gathering without precautions. Others argue it's been the rush to reopen without waiting for a steady decline in cases.
If these states keep going up, we're going to have a national crisis like we have never seen. They said this was the way to help the economy by reopening. It's been the exact opposite. Every time the virus goes up, the stock market goes down.
Donald Trump's health secretary today said time is running out to get this surge under control. And
thank you, Paul. A new report says 1 million jobs will be created if the government invests in major power transmission and storage projects. Network Finance Editor Gemma Acton is in the newsroom. Hello, Gemma. It has some big financial backing.
Yes, and among the prominent business people who are backing this is the Atlassian co-founder Mike Cannon-Brookes. And we also have some big names on the advisory panel, such as our former Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull and the ex-chair of Macquarie Bank, Kevin McCann. Now, what this report does is it looks at various ideas for investment and suggests how many jobs think could be created if they were pursued. For example, creating a public transport network of Electronic buses, it thinks, could create around 140,000 jobs, or creating some more energy-efficient housing, it believes, could create more than 900,000 jobs. Among the other supporters who have a big role to play in Australian society is our third largest super fund, First State, whose chief executive says that it is really important that super funds play a big role in our economic recovery.
And so really making sure we're considering the risks, but also importantly the opportunities, is a critical role that all super funds need to consider.
We're getting all the ingredients now of all the organisations being able to come together and come to an agreement on where Australia needs to go as a country.
The report's authors say they're looking at this as an initiative and a cooperation between business, government and the community, and they do expect private investors to put forward a lot of the money, but of course it would be essential for a project of this magnitude to get government buy-in, and so far we haven't heard much from the government on this.
Gemma Action reporting. Thank you very much, Gemma. A doctor accused of indecently assaulting patients at a Sydney sleep clinic says he had permission to touch 2 of them as part of a tantric alternative healing program. As Evan Batten reports, he's defending the 25 charges laid against him.
And Ali Karami has taken the unusual step of getting into the witness box to defend allegations that he indecently assaulted 5 women as they came to the Woolcock Sleep Institute at Glebe in 2018 for a sleep assessment. And Karami was employed as a sleep technician. While he was qualified as a GP, he was not there to administer any treatment. Regardless, he claims he gave treatment to 2 of the complainants with their consent. Part of what he says was the tantric healing methods of transferring energy from himself to the patient. He admits to touching 2 of the women with part of his body, but says it was with their consent. None of the women were actually there for any treatment, only to have their sleep patterns monitored. Now a total of 5 women aged between 16 and 29 have complained to police, and Karami is defending the allegations, saying he is not guilty. It will now be up to a jury to decide his guilt or otherwise. Anne?
Thanks, Evan. A $1 million reward has been posted to solve the mystery behind a Sydney house fire 22 years ago that killed a teenage boy. As Laura Banks reports, the cash has been increased tenfold as the boy's mother continues her fight to uncover the truth.
Well, the community here in Waterloo has harboured a secret for 22 years. Who threw the Molotov cocktail that started the fire that killed 13-year-old Arthur Haynes? Today, getting answers to that question became $1 million closer. Arthur's mother, Julie Zambo, is desperate for answers. She's convinced someone here knows the truth, and she's hoping money will make them talk.
And I love my son very much, and I'd never ever, as a mother, give up hope. So I never forget thinking about my son, what he would have been, how he would have been, and what he would have become.
The 13-year-old was sleeping over at a friend's house here on Walker Street on the night of the fire. It was Good Friday, 1998, and the young teens had plans to go to the Royal Easter Show the next day.
There's people out there, OK, they may need the incentive of $1 million, but they should also just have to listen to what Julie and see what the heartache that Julie's had here today and has had it for 22 years, to come forward and look into their own soul and their own heart and in their own conscience and come forward and give that information, because they know something.
Answers to a secret that will hopefully bring closure to a grieving mother. If you know who's responsible for Arthur's death, contact police.
7 News has been given exclusive insight into the length criminals will go to smuggle drugs into Australia. Australian Border Force has redirected resources to mail centres and ports following a huge drop in international flight arrivals. Officers have found banned substances hidden inside cars, children's toys and hand sanitizer.
We have seen a slight increase in detections of firearms parts and accessories, as well as in detections of narcotics or illicit drugs.
We'll have more on this exclusive story at 6 o'clock. Hundreds of New South Wales police officers turned out at St Mary's Cathedral today to farewell one of their own. Constable Aaron Vidal was remembered as a hero who served both his community and his country. Peter Fegan reports.
Well, Annie may have only been in the force a short time, but he's had a lasting effect on so many, and that was evident today. Hundreds of his colleagues from the New South Wales Police Force and his friends and family gathered at St Mary's Cathedral to farewell Constable Aaron Vidal. And it was only fitting that Constable Vidal's final journey be in the city. He was an officer at Sydney City Police Area Command, and this was the community that he dedicated his life to protecting. His father, brother and fiancée Jess, who is pregnant with their first child, delivered eulogies. There was a beautiful but very sad moment, Anne, where Jess revealed the sex of the couple's unborn child.
You were a proud dad to be, and busting to find out our baby's gender. And you wanted so bad to share that exciting news with everyone. Well, darling, here's your last wish. We're having a baby boy.
Aaron Vidal was killed on the 18th of June as he rode his motorcycle home from work. He was hit by a ute, and since then police have charged a 37-year-old man. He remains before the courts. Anne?
Thank you, Peter. Breaking news on a popular Australian brand now in administration. That's ahead. Then, the airline reinventing itself, how Rex is trying to sink its teeth into the domestic travel market. Also, the rescue effort to free a trapped sperm whale. And it's 14 degrees in Campbelltown. Brownie has Sydney's forecast soon.
They all wish they felt 10 years younger.
Just need to get back to being the person that I was so proud to be once.
There's no going back.
Okay.
In just 10 days, their lives will be transformed for good.
Oh my God.
The most heartwarming, life-changing show of the year.
Oh my...
10 years younger in 10 days. Tonight after Big Brother on 7.
Most Australians use their home internet very differently these days, so the quality of your Wi-Fi signal is more important than ever. Wi-Fi gets weaker when it travels from room to room. Walls, furniture, and even TVs can affect the signal strength. For the best possible signal, try moving your Wi-Fi modem into the open. For more home internet help, visit nbn.com.au/optimise.
Thanks to Light and Easy, Australians of all ages can enjoy their choice of delicious, nutritious meals in the comfort and safety of their home. And now, Light and Easy is also giving every customer 10 chances to win $10,000. If you or someone close to you could benefit from improved health and financial well-being, visit lightandeasy.com.au today.
What are you looking at, hon?
Oh, just a little bit of T&W.
Huh?
Hey, I got a package for Ada.
Wow, you're here already?
Temple and Webster. Save today on our massive end of financial year sale.
Head to Macca's if a little treat is what you need and get 6 of our new delicious donut balls for just $3 or 18 chicken McNuggets and 2 large fries for $9.95.
My perfect bowl?
Plain cornflakes and plain cold milk.
Warm milk? Shortbread?
No, not in the cornflakes.
You gotta have the peaches and the bananas.
Yes, ma'am.
2020. Finally some good news. This end of financial year, Step 1's got you covered. 4-pack, 20% off. 7-pack, 25% off. And this big fella, get a 15-pack for 30% off. Get them online at step1.live. Be quick.
When you have a sore throat, everything you eat feels a whole lot worse than it really is. But it doesn't have to. Treat it with Betadine ready-to-use sore throat gargle. It kills the bacteria that may cause a sore throat within 30 seconds and use the Betadine lozenges range to relieve the symptoms. Get back to living life with Betadine. Now available for the best price at Chemist Warehouse.
4 seconds.
It'll come down
4 seconds.
to 4 seconds.
Wow!
New The Chase, weekdays on 7.
Breaking news now, and the retail woes hitting Australian companies has claimed another victim. Our best-known swimwear brand Sea Folly has just announced it's gone into voluntary administration. In a statement, the company says the decision was made because of the crippling impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. Those with gift cards and loyalty points are being encouraged to spend it now. Regional Express has confirmed it's going ahead with plans to establish flights servicing Australia's Golden Triangle. The airline will move to fly between Sydney, Melbourne and Brisbane from March next year, taking on Qantas, Jetstar and Virgin. It plans to sell or lease its fleet of 60 turbo propeller aircraft to raise around $30 million needed to get it off the ground. Checking finance now with James Tower at CommSec. Hello, James. The spike in COVID-19 cases has investors a little anxious.
Yeah, that's right. Good afternoon to you. And we saw a fair bit of selling on the Aussie market today to start the week off. The ASX 200 ending the session about 89 points lower. That's about 1.5%. At the worst levels of the day, we were down around 2%. So we did see a slight improvement late in the day, but it was really broad losses on the market. We had every single sector in negative territory. The financials and energy sectors, some of the worst performers. Travel stocks also generally not doing too well. Qantas down about 5%. As were Flight Centre and Webjet, but Regional Express actually up about 17% on that news that it's looking to expand its flights between major capital cities. Gold stocks also a little bit higher today. Evolution, the standout there, up about 4%, and the Aussie dollar a little firmer against the greenback. It's now buying around 68.8 US cents there, Anne.
James Tower from CommSec. Thanks a lot, James. Historic exhibits from the Powerhouse Museum are set to be put into storage or dismantled to be displayed elsewhere as the gallery is shifted to Parramatta. Chris Maher is at Ultimo. Chris, the move continues to be controversial.
Well, calls to save Sydney's Powerhouse Museum have intensified today, with plans revealed to shift some of the museum's larger items to temporary homes. Now, there were crowds queuing at the Powerhouse this morning after it reversed a plan to shut down exhibits from tomorrow. Instead, the museum says it will continue tours of the site through to the end of the year. It's working currently on arrangements to shift exhibitions to storage. It's also been negotiating with smaller museums to temporarily house some of the larger items like trams. Now, this is ahead of the museum's controversial relocation to a new facility in Parramatta. Supporters of the Ultimo building say it underlines why the collection should stay where it is.
There's no intellect or heart or soul in the move of the museum to Parramatta. Keeping the museum here is what the people of New South Wales want.
Opponents to the relocation say shifting the museum to Parramatta will ultimately cost $1.5 billion. The museum says the cost is more like half that figure.
Thanks, Chris. Sydney 6 p.m. news is coming up with Mark Ferguson. Hello, Mark. What are you working on in the newsroom?
Yeah, good afternoon. And tonight, the very latest on the growing virus crisis south of the border, with 75 new cases in Victoria. The new warnings not to have anyone from Greater Melbourne in your home. But is there a threat the border will close? We'll have the latest developments at 6. We have an extraordinary interview after a thief picked the wrong shopkeeper. That story only on 7. He calls it a political lynching. The New South Wales MP at the centre of an investigation into foreign interference breaks his silence to say he did nothing wrong. Disturbing pictures from a Sydney brain surgeon, the ugly battle that has him fronting court. The moment a towering crane toppled down onto buildings. And more detail on that ambitious jobs plan where 1.8 million positions could be created. And all those stories, Sydney 7 News tonight at 6 o'clock.
See you then, Fergo. Thank you. Divers have freed a sperm whale which became caught in illegal nets off the coast of southern Italy. Marine biologists and the Coast Guard used knives to remove the net from the tail of the mammal, which was clearly in distress. It swam off without serious injuries to join another pod of whales nearby. Time now to see how things are looking on Sydney's roads.
Good afternoon, it's Andrew Epinemo in the Tax Tips Traffic Chopper. The M7 through Horsley Park, one to avoid. It is closed northbound at the Horsley Drive with a truck and car accident. We're just hovering over the M7 now in Horsley Park. As you can see, all northbound lanes are closed. Traffic is also slow southbound with traffic back to the M4. Here's a great tax tip. Why wait? Get a professional tax return with Tax Tips and get paid a cash refund on the spot. Visit taxtips.com.au now. Conditions and charges apply.
With just hours left in this financial year, the race is on to maximise your tax return. And with many working from home, there's a raft of home expenses that might be claimed. Brian Seymour is looking into how it works. Brian, there's still time to boost your return.
Yes, good afternoon. At midnight tomorrow night, this extraordinary financial year will come to an end, which gives you just over 24 hours to make the most of the new tax arrangements in place. Working at home expenses include printer and stationery supplies, electricity costs, subscriptions, cleaning, technology like headphones and screens, and office furniture. You can also claim for the time you've been forced to work out of the office.
So the ATO shortcut method is at 80 cents an hour, and that covers all of your home office expenses. So that works out to about $32 a week, and all your expenses are covered.
Many have topped up their superannuation accounts to offset their tax, but be warned, it's probably too late for that now, as the money needs to be in the funds account and cleared before July the 1st. Still, you can offload shares that have lost a lot of their value this year and claim any losses. The tax office warns that you will need to have a worksheet or diary to show the hours you've worked at home, and say that their data matching software is better than ever at detecting any fraudulent claims.
Thanks, Brian. Next in 7's afternoon news, David Brown will be here with your very latest weather forecast.
The plot to evict Australia's most loved housemaid.
I think it's time to try and get rid of her.
They've tried to burst her bubble before. Now, their big scheme.
If we play our cards right and work together, Angie's here for the taking. We all need to be on the same page.
She's got her friends.
Keep your friends close, but your enemies closer.
But does she have too many enemies?
Game on.
Can she survive tonight?
You never know.
The must-watch Big Brother. Tonight, 7:30 on 7.
Give in to Fresh. Give in to Subway.
Almost there.
Oh, you're there. Well, what are we waiting for?
Lotto's jackpot has stretched to a whopping $30 million. Will your numbers bring you a truckload of cash this Tuesday?
Play now in-store at thelot.com or on the Lot app.
The Amazon mid-year sale ends Tuesday. Get in quick to save on great deals across electronics, fashion, homewares and more. Plus, you'll get free delivery on eligible orders over $39. Shop amazon.com.au. Easy as.
New Special K lower sugar. Rise with us. Rise with protein for muscle. With less than 4 grams of sugar. Set goals, then kick them. Try New Special K lower sugar.
2020, finally some good news. This end of financial year, Step 1's got you covered. 4-pack, 20% off. 7-pack, 25% off. And this big fella, get a 15-pack for 30% off. Get them online at step1.life. Be quick.
As credit to you, here's up to $120 credit from us. Add any selected month-to-month mobile plan with Vodafone and get the credit you deserve over 12 months. Find out more at vodafone.com.au. Ready?
Life happens, and you don't always see it coming. That's why Boop is here. Because sometimes we all need some help. Because you're going out less, we'll help you at home. Because getting real value has never been more important. And because whatever tomorrow holds, Booper's got your back. Booper. Because life happens.
It's back, the ultimate cheesy garlic bread sub. Make your favourite sub inside hot, cheesy garlic bread. Give in to the ultimate cheesy garlic bread sub. Give in to Fresh. Give in to Subway.
4 seconds.
4 seconds.
Wow.
It'll come down
4 seconds.
To 4 seconds.
Wow.
There's only one word for this ending.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
New The Chase. Weekdays at 5 on 7.
This weather report proudly brought to you by Australian Red Cross.
David joins us again with the very latest forecast. Hello, Brownie.
Yes, good afternoon, and a few showers continue to pass over parts of the Sydney metro areas we go to where. First thing tomorrow, though, we're expecting extensive fog. In fact, some of that fog could make its way all the way towards the coastal fringe. But today, it's been cold. Maximum 16.5 degrees, just at 1 minute past 1 this afternoon. Statewide, at the moment, you'll notice, well, it's sitting on 13 degrees in Nudgee. Further north, Mudgee, I should say, further north in Lismore, it's Monday, isn't it? 18 degrees and still laughing, stop it. Canberra, ACT, currently sitting on 11 degrees. As we go to the latest satellite data, we have this massive high that's dominating our weather. It's parked at the surface. What we can't see is a trough that's sitting right here. It's in the middle atmosphere. It's a small-scale trough. That's what's driving the scattered showers over central parts of the coast at the moment. Now, that trough will nick off out to sea overnight as this high sits right over the top of us tomorrow. A lot of moisture in the low levels, so fog, widespread fog is likely, and that's why I suspect some of that fog will drain all the way down towards the coast first thing tomorrow. Nationwide, cool sunny conditions are on the way for Brisbane at the top around 22 degrees. Melbourne 15 degrees, cloud increasing, might see a change tomorrow night. A few showers are likely in Perth and 21. Back home, as I mentioned, fog tomorrow morning, then a sunny day to follow. Forecast top of around, 19 degrees with just a gentle northerly breeze. As for the next 7 days, it should be a little bit warmer on Wednesday. A foggy start is likely in our west. But essentially, it's dry and sunny conditions all the way through with some cooler weather expected across the weekend. That's the latest weather. A foggy start tomorrow and more at 6.
All right. Mudgee is a beautiful part of the world.
Certainly is.
Thank you, Brownie. And that's Sydney's 4 p.m. news. For this Monday, Mark Ferguson will bring you 7 News at 6. I'm Ann Sanders. Stay with 7 Now for The Chase, and I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great night.
Tell me a bit about